So this video is going to be on choosing assist hooks, different lengths, sizes of the hooks, and then an argument for using double assist hooks, specifically when doing slow pitch jigging. So what I have here is a seafloor control 150 gram Abyss, and the assist hooks that I have on here are going to be the 3.0 jam hooks with a 3 centimeter assist line, such as this. You can see that if I cross these assist hooks, they will not hook into each other. So for most cases, this is going to be a very safe situation whenever you're doing slow pitch jigging. Now, I'm going to move this jig up and down, and what I would like you to do is to watch the assist hooks and how they remain equidistant from each other. In other words, at no point while I'm moving the jig around on my mat are the hooks going to actually cross each other. So if I go up, I go down, I go up again, and then I do a falling action, these hooks are remaining about the same distance apart. And that's going to be because, and this happens in the water as well, and this is going to happen because the hooks are lighter than the jig itself, and the water resistance, or in this case the mat, is acting with the same amount of friction on both sets. Okay, so as long as the jig isn't going all over the place and crazy like a random fall jig, then your assist hooks are not going to cross each other. If you're using dedicated jigs, you do not need to worry about the length of your assist hooks. And so I'm going to demonstrate that now with, again, this is another 150 gram Abyss. Everything same about it. The only difference is going to be that these are much longer hooks, and these do in fact also cross. Okay, so it would be possible for this jig, if it were random fall, or if I make my action tone with the rod, if I mess up the fall of this jig, it is possible for these hooks to actually cross each other and then therefore not work. So I'm going to set this up just like if we were dropping this into the water. So you drop it in the water, it's falling, it touches bottom, you pull up on it, and you notice those hooks remain the same distance apart. You can do a falling action, another rise action here, and it doesn't matter how I move this jig around on the board, at no point are they going to actually cross. Okay, now the argument for using longer assist hooks. Now, again, Abyss 150 gram, Abyss 150 gram. This has longer hooks. This one has shorter. This one would be safer to use, the shorter hooks, if you're worried about the sea condition or just the hooking itself in general. Okay. Imagine that this is bottom. This solid black line is bottom. If there are rocks, if there are structure, if there's anything else, these hooks are actually sitting up just a little bit higher than these hooks here. As soon as this jig touches bottom, these hooks, because they're metal, they will start slowly going down. Okay, this is going to take longer to touch bottom than these shorter hooks here. Okay, this one has a shorter distance to fall. This is more likely, the shorter assist lines are more likely to snag bottom than the longer. Okay, also now we're thinking about fishing action in general. Okay, so you have a fish, it's chasing the jig upward, you've just done a lift. This is now looking like a bait fish that's running away from the fish. You want the longer assist line. The reason is that groupers, oxygen, those types of bottom fish, they tend to gulp instead of bite. Now, there are obviously cases where that is not the case. I have had groupers, oxygen hit the top of the jig and get hooked up here, but in general, most of my bottom species are going to be on the bottom assist hook. And if they hit on the rise, they will primarily be on the back hooks, unless of course it's an extremely large grouper. And in that case, it'll swallow the entire jig, which I'll get to that in just a moment. So in general, you want the longer hooks because this will get sucked into the grouper's mouth, the oxygen's mouth, whatever it might be. Okay. Now the other reason for the double assist hooks is not too long ago I caught an automebae. Okay. It was, I believe, 13 kilograms. And I posted a picture of it on Fishing Okinawa, and it was actually on this jig here. You can tell that this jig here is actually quite tore up, which is why I got the replacement, this one here. But I wanted to show you this jig in particular. If you take a look at this, this is actually, again, the 3.0 hooks, but this hook is actually bent a little bit. It's not as curved as this one. When I was fighting that grouper, that automebae, this hook actually came out of the grouper's mouth, but because I had the double assist hooks on here, and actually I'm wrong, it was this one here. This is, so the top actually came out, but the bottom was still on there. The bottom is then what caught the fish. So you can see that this one came out of the fish's mouth, and these two hooks held. If I had only been using the top assist hooks, that fish would have been gone, okay? I would have never caught that automebae. Because I was using the double assist hooks, it greatly increased my chance of bringing that fish in, okay? Now, this is the one big caution that I'm going to share concerning choosing assist hooks. You can tell that these assist hooks here, even though they are long, and actually this may not be the case, I didn't test this before. Ah, good. All right, so if I take this hook, I can slide this hook all the way up and down the body and it not catch, okay? So this one here, because this is a longer assist line, it can move farther up the body. And so this is actually the 5.0 seafloor control jam hooks. It's these right here, okay? If this were the longer, or the, if this were longer assist hooks with the 3.0 jam hooks, then you could see that, yeah, right there. If this were longer assist line, if it were up here, then my hook would catch the body, and then that hook would not only be out of commission, but it would also mess up the fall action of the jig, and the jig would not feel right in the water, and I'd have to bring it up to reset. Here's another example of that. So this is a secret reactor, 320 grams. And the reason why I chose this jig to show you is because it is so wide here in the middle. What I find often with these wider jigs is that when you use long assist hooks like this, it's much easier for these hooks to get wrapped and caught on the jig just like that, which again, going back to what I just showed you on the Abyss, it puts that hook out of commission. This hook will actually dig into the jig on the fall. Actually, that's on the rise, and it's out of commission. So if a fish were to come up and bite this, obviously that hook's not going to do any good, and the fall of this jig is not going to be correct. So that was a real, that wasn't a real quick video, but that was a video on jigs and assist hooks. If you have any questions, please do let me know.